Okay, now that we got the top side soldered, here's the special part. This is done a little differently than with most boards, because typically these parts are cooked with a oven. So in this instance, I've got some thermal vias that conduct heat from the bottom of the chip here to the bottom of the board here, where the heat can conduct through the board to cool. So there's two big holes and a whole bunch of little holes in the middle which aren't insulated. So the idea here is you can turn your iron up a little. Maybe if you're doing leaded, maybe try 375. Don't go higher than about 400 probably at the very most, but you shouldn't even need that much. Put a little bit of solder on the end of your iron, and then what you can do is touch the pads in the middle and then feed solder into this end, one of the end holes. As the board heats up, it should heat up the bottom of the chip, and that solder should melt. Might take a little while for it to actually happen, but it might even help to add a tiny bit of solder to these middle pads where you're heating it. The idea is that, oops, it's moving around on me here. Eventually it will heat up the bottom of the chip enough to start melting that solder. Let's put this back in the middle of this frame. A little bit more in the middle. Yeah, see, when it gets hot enough, my solder will start to melt and flow into that hole, and right under and out the other hole at the other end of the chip. So you know that it's gotten all the way across. So you just feed it until there's kind of a little bit of a bubble sticking up on the other side. And then when you take your iron off, it'll cool and shrink right back down flat. So now you have a properly soldered thermal pad on the bottom of a chip, which is intended to be done reflow only, not by hand soldering. But you're good to go.